Good afternoon, sloths. Hi, I am Jen Cole, and I am the Jordan Snitzer Dean of PNCA. Welcome, friends, family, chosen family, who are here to celebrate with your graduates. Give yourself a round of applause. I'd like to welcome President Thorsett, Provost Long, members of the Willamette University Board of Trustees, and invited special guests for joining us here today, the first in-person graduation we have had in nearly 2 years. Before I begin today, I'd ask you to do the basics, which is silence your cell phones, cheer raucously, but as we sort of move through folks, make sure everybody gets to hear their graduate's name, because this is a special, special moment for all of you. Before we begin in earnest today, I would like to acknowledge that the land where PNCA is located rests on the traditional village sites of the Multnomah, Willamette, Clackamas, Tualatin, Kalapuya, Molalla, bands of Chinook, and many other tribes who make their homes along the Columbia River. We also acknowledge the systemic policies of genocide, relocation, and assimilation that impact many indigenous families. As settlers and guests on these lands, we respect the work of Native nations, leaders, and families, and make ongoing efforts to center indigenous knowledge, creativity, resilience, and resistance. Please give a round of applause to the incredible PNCA faculty who have supported you on this journey and the staff who have made sure today can happen. I joined as dean in March of this year, and I can honestly say that every single day I am awed and inspired by all of the people in this room, and particularly the faculty, students, and staff that make PNCA so incredible. Just 2 days ago, I celebrated the graduation of my own son from high school, and it was an amazing, incredible accomplishment, but I was also struck, as the names were read, by the incredible loss that so many of the students felt. I want to take a moment and acknowledge the weight of what it has taken you to get here. To get here, you have been on a road, working many jobs, journeying from community college to PNCA, raising your own children, taking care of relatives and elders, and managing your own mental and physical health. You have lived through a pandemic where we have lost friends and family. You have committed years of learning on Zoom amidst prolonged civil and political unrest right in our own community. You've lived through a merger and witnessed deep shifts within the college itself. And in all of this, you have found a primal and innately human urge to navigate this as an artist, as a storyteller, a meaning maker, and a creator. You have lived in a truly traumatic moment in our human history, and yet through it all, you drew, you invented, you made, you wrote, you built worlds, you imagined characters, you told beautiful stories, exposed truths, and dug as far as you could into your soul to keep creating. And here you are, not just graduating, but thriving. So I'd like to take a moment and release the weight of it all and allow yourself to graduate from that weight and welcome you to commencement. Commencement means to begin, to start, to initiate. Today, you are surrounded by faculty mentors, your friends, your family, your chosen family, who are joined in this singular wish to cheer you on for this beginning. A beginning where you chart new space for joy and justice, for care and beauty, for complexity and change. Because today and every day, you are enough. You are full of your own power and your enormous creativity, and you are most definitely ready to commence. Give yourself a round of applause. It is now my pleasure to introduce Linda Cleaver, Associate Professor and Director of BFA Thesis, to introduce our BFA student speaker and present the undergraduate awards.
Thank you, Jen. I'll try not to cry. This is my first time up here. It's my great honor to be introducing the speaker, which is the first thing I will do. Our student speaker is chosen by you, the graduates, and our student speaker is Emma Wiseman. Unfortunately, Emma is not able to be with us today. I'm still going to introduce her, and her good friend is going to read her speech. But first, Emma Wiseman is a graphic designer from Oregon. In her work, she uses a critical yet empathetic lens to explore ideas of self-love, emotion, and the whimsical world. In her soft nature, Emma's work feels deeply intentional and grounded. Her work is often inspired by creating community, promoting social justice, and working towards anti-capitalism. She's a lover of typography, especially the font Hobo, and in her free time, she loves to garden and be outside. Her friend, BFA thesis student Ulisha Isabella Vindal, will now read her speech. Please come up to the stage.
It is an honor to be here today in a room surrounded by so many incredible painters, illustrators, photographers, sculptors, designers, animators, printmakers, creative writers, multimedia artists, and fine artists. Here we are after a long 4 years to celebrate the class of 2022. Congratulations. Students, be very proud of all that you have accomplished. Working towards your degree and earning a BFA is a great accomplishment. PNCA became a place where all of us could pursue ideas that deeply interested us, even if they were strange, experimental, or unconventional. We learned that being an art student meant working very long hours that most definitely extended past the 9-to-5 sector. We invested late nights and our whole heart into much of our academic career, creating projects and portfolio pieces that hold deep thought and care. You should be very proud. The student body of PNCA is unlike any other college I have been around. I've appreciated the community more than anyone can know. The friends, classmates, and acquaintances I have met these last few years have been a constant source of light, inspiration, and acceptance. Our critique spaces are often varied, complex, and intensely personal, and this sort of vulnerability and empathetic environment could only be produced by a wonderful community. PNCA's student body has always worked towards inclusion and supporting their peers. As we embark on new projects, jobs, and collaborations, I challenge you to continue to do this kind of work. Embrace your ideas that support people of color, the LGBTQIA+ community, climate change, anti-establishment, and anti-capitalism ideology. We are the future generation of professional makers, thinkers, and designers, and we can change the current state of the world. You are all doing exciting things and making art that matters, whether you are making a children's book exploring childhood memories in nature, a brand identity that highlights climate change, a clothing line celebrating trans bodies, a series of illustrations highlighting powerful women, an app for service industry workers, or animating a new world of whimsical monsters. Your work is inspiring and indeed needed in this world. As you embark on what's next, rejection might sting, but often it has very little to do with you. When you're applying to a gallery show or an agency, work hard and don't give up. Use what makes you unique and special as your superpowers and stretch your creative minds. There are places you haven't been in which you already belong to, and your future is bright ahead of you. Keep working hard and going above and beyond what you think is capable. Your path is clear, but it may not be easy. Keep working hard. On this day, graduation may send you into a spiral of confusion, uneasiness, or what some of us call the real world. Just knowing that you are on the right path and growing where you are planted. And with that, I say, congratulations, PNCA's class of 2022.
Thank you, Alicia, and thank you, Emma. You're with us here without a doubt, and we hope you're watching us streaming live your words. It is my honor to present the BFA Awards. We have two groups of awards. First are department awards, which are selected by the departments, and then after that, we'll give the thesis awards, writing and the thesis projects. So when we do the department awards, if the students will come up to the center of the stage on the floor, right in front of the stage, and your department head will meet you in the front of the stage, and they will give you your award down there. Okay. Animated arts, Jody Kuchenbacher. Nice work, Jody. Graphic design, Emma Wiseman. Well, we know Emma's not here. Kristen will make sure that she gets that award. General Fine Arts, Luna Enriquez. Illustration, Roland Kingsbury. Well, I guess we're going to be making some trips here. Intermedia, Ulim Ringgold. Painting, Tori Taylor. Photography, Griffin Wickstrom Morse. Printmaking, Emilia Whiteside. Sculpture, James Houghton. We are a huggy bunch here. Video and sound, Connor Ray. Creative writing, Giovanda Corosco. And finally, liberal arts, Luna Enriquez. Now, the next awards are specific to thesis for the BFA students. We have one overall award for fine arts, one overall award for graphic design, and then an overall show award for one student, usually. The Givler Thesis Award for Design Arts goes to Mad Krudenair. And I actually meant to do the writing awards first. Thesis writing awards, we have 2 awards. The first award is for the best thesis paper, and that goes to Ren Simmons. The award for the best thesis oral goes to Ulim Ringgold. I will say that none of these awards were easy, just so you know. I think it was, okay, the Givler Thesis Award for Fine Arts goes to Tori Taylor. And finally, the Abraham and Anna C. Hillman Thesis Award this year goes to 2 students. So please hold your applause until I announce both of them, and I'd like both of you to come up at the same time, please. Luna Enriquez and Ulim Ringgold.
Thank you, Linda, and congratulations, students. It's really, your work just knocks me out. It's now my pleasure to introduce Sharita Town, Program Head for the MFA in Visual Studies, to introduce our MFA student speaker.
Elizabeth Arzani. I'm going to read the bio also. Is an interdisciplinary artist and educator living and working in Portland, Oregon. As a collector of sorts, her work is rooted in storytelling, offering a form of communication that extends language. Arzani has exhibited in solo and group exhibitions both nationally and internationally at the Center for Contemporary Art and Culture in Portland, COCA, Center for Contemporary Art in Seattle, the Veen Museum of New South Charlotte, North Carolina, Rock Hill, South Carolina, and during the Luxembourg Art Week in Salon of 2019, French, du Cercle Artiste de Luxembourg. Ooh. She has participated in the Culture Shop Artist Residency, transforming a former freight depot in Walderdang, Luxembourg, into a site-specific installation, and has collaborated on public art installations with Schum-Pike's Storefronts project at Amazon headquarters. Arzani now holds an MFA in Visual Studies from the Pacific Northwest College of Art and holds a BFA in Painting and Art Education from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Please welcome Elizabeth Arzani.
Thank you, Sharita. It feels magical to stand here today with and among so many talented and innovative makers and thinkers. I am grateful to have had the opportunity to work with and learn alongside so many of you. These last 2 years at PNCA inspired me to think more deeply about language and words as material, and the power of visual languages to communicate beyond words. Today, I am thinking about the words of the late author and activist known by her pen name, Bell Hooks. In her book, Feminism is for Everybody, Passionate Politics, she states that to be truly visionary, we have to root our imagination in our concrete reality, while simultaneously imagining possibilities beyond that reality. At PNCA, I have witnessed people make the seemingly impossible possible by being critical and curious and leaning into growing pains, learning from failure. And here we are, completing our degrees against the backdrop of a global pandemic, the heartbreak of wildfires, the grief of social injustice, war, and the labor of protest, among many other individual and collective challenges. When I was asked to make this speech, they advised me to keep things light, but I think it is important to acknowledge the hardships people faced, still face, and have overcome to get here today. And to say it one more time, you did it. We did it. A few months ago, when I was headed to the studios one morning, I witnessed something I'd never seen before. From afar, it looked suspicious. Up close, it looked strangely beautiful. To my surprise, what I encountered that morning was a giant pile of fortune cookies, crushed and crumbled in the middle of an intersection, a crossroads, exposing hundreds of affirmations. It feels similar to this moment. Instead of tiny-sized words laying on the ground, staring up at me, I see the crossroads and affirmations looking back at me in your eyes. Out of the 140 fortunes I collected that day, because that is the person I am, I found that there were 2 that were repeated 3 times. I expected at least one of them to be a variation of, "This current year will bring you much happiness," but it turned out that the 2 fortunes that were repeated the most were, "You will make many changes before settling satisfactorily," and "A new pair of shoes will do you good." And it's true. Grad school changes people and destroys shoes. Many of us will leave here today and go on to wear many fancy new shoes. I wish you all glitter and shine, and I hope you wear them well. I hope you tap dance in them, travel great distances, and get them dirty as hell, leaving your footprints in places that desperately need an imprint of new voices. It is my hope that everyone leaves here today with an urgency to speak the words you know to be true, make the things that are needed in this world, and take up space with compassion and with your art. Your voices matter. Regardless of where we all go from here, take the relationships you've built and the lessons you've learned and keep them close. It has been an honor to participate in this community and to be here celebrating with you all today. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you, incredible. I would like to now introduce Jessie Spies-Werner, Administrative Director of the Hallie Ford School of Graduate Studies, to present the Graduate Awards.
Thank you, Jen. It is my extreme pleasure to present the Thesis Awards to graduate candidates this year on behalf of the Hallie Ford School of Graduate Studies. The Thesis Award for the MFA in Applied Craft and Design goes to Alex Stone. The Thesis Writing Award for MFA in Applied Craft and Design goes to Elena Ferry. The Thesis Award for the MA in Critical Studies goes to Heidi Scheidel. The Thesis Award for MFA in Collaborative Design goes to Madeline Silberger-Franek. The Thesis Award for the MA in Design Systems goes to Amina Carroll. The Thesis Award for MFA in Print Media goes to Christina Martin. The Thesis Award for MFA, the Thesis Writing Award for MFA in Print Media goes to Isabel Campos Bedard. Excuse me. The Thesis Writing Award for MFA in Collaborative Design and MA in Design Systems goes to Imbar Sulfur Sharon. The Thesis Award for MFA in Visual Studies goes to Oliver Meyer. Oliver is not here today, but we will congratulate them later. And the Thesis Writing Award for MFA in Visual Studies goes to Elizabeth Arzani. Congrats to everyone.
Thank you, Jesse, and congratulations to all our MA and MFA graduates. This year, I am thrilled to welcome to the stage retiring and newly conferred Emeriti faculty member Rose Bond. Rose has served PNCA for more than 24 years as the architect of our animated arts program. She has served in numerous faculty leadership roles and is a tireless advocate for the role of animation in art industry and complex professional practice. Her commitment to PNCA is only equaled by her artistic success and collaborations with numerous international avant-garde composers and multi-screen projection work. Thank you, Rose, for your many years of leadership and vision and innovation, your excellence in teaching and mentoring. May you continue to be motivated by your intellectual curiosity and your desire to teach and learn. Professor Emeritus Rose Bond. Yay! I am really excited today to introduce our commencement keynote. She is a champion of arts education, artists, and the role of complex and creative lives in making our city, state, and our country stronger. Kimberly Howard Wade is the executive director of Caldera Arts, a youth and environmental artist residency and community mentor program serving students in Oregon. Prior to coming to Caldera, she led the PGE Project Zero social impact initiative, was a former trust manager of the Oregon Cultural Trust, managing director at Portland's Interstate Firehouse Cultural Center, and education arts director for the Artist Repertory Theater. She currently serves as chair of the Oregon State Board of Education and has been a national leader in the role of arts and community transformation. In addition to her plentiful work as a civic leader and just all around wonderful person, Kimberly is an accomplished actress with credits in New York, the Williamstown Theater Festival, and several Portland area theaters. She received her BA from Pacific Union College in Political Economic History and an MFA in Acting from Columbia University. Please welcome Kimberly Howard Wade.
Art can tell stories. I'm a performing artist. You are visual artists, for the most part. I know that there are writers and digital storytellers among you. But for the most part, the stories that you tell with your art are stories that must be seen or touched to be understood. So, in honor of your graduation, I am going to paint you a picture in words. I am going to use the artist's practice of moving from concept to completion to explore the theme of time, the nonlinear path that is a life's work that begins with the impetus to create. I'm going to send you off with a commencement address in 3 acts. Act 1. The story of an artist is never a straight line. I started out wanting to create. My personal mission was to inspire and support young people to awaken the potential of their creative voice. I graduated from Columbia University with an MFA in theater, as you've already heard, an emphasis in acting, and I moved to Walla Walla, Washington. I was going to teach college students who were determined to find the potential of their creative voice. All hell broke loose. When Saturn returned to the same place in the night sky that it had been when I was born, around 27 years old, and stayed there until my 33rd birthday. By the time the calendar shift had happened, I had already had an epiphany that was going to change the course of my life. I decided to stay in Walla Walla and commit to teaching theater, even though at that time I was incredibly concerned about the fact that my students were more creative than I was, and I was slowly running out of information that I could share with them. I felt conflicted. I mean, there was a sense of safety in a kind of education that I was used to, and the first voice that would become an eventual choir that would force me off of the stage and into arts advocacy and philanthropy. And that voice kept saying to me, the life of an artist is hard. Is this the life that you can do? So, after that epiphany, I decided to stay in the safe place that was academia for me. And it kept all manner of things from happening, but also other things were able to happen. I went to Europe, for example. I bought my first house. I mean, I actually signed papers while I was standing in this really dingy dormitory in the Bloomsbury district of London, where I'd been living for a month with students who I was teaching at that time about theater and religion and narrative and history. I started a love affair with a younger man. I mean, who doesn't? But that's part of another talk. I took up smoking, and I quit a few years later. Saturn returns again. You'll have to look that one up. But I smoked my way that year through Europe. One time I actually went all the way to the back of the train thinking I was pulling the wool over my students' eyes and they wouldn't know that I was back there smoking. Because I wasn't supposed to be smoking. At that particular university, professors were not allowed to smoke. We weren't allowed to sleep with younger men either, but that's a whole other story. So I celebrated life that year. I did a backyard makeover in my new house. I planted, I churned up the dirt, I trimmed rose bushes. I sat on the back porch with students sitting around a fire pit having, those kind of conversations that you probably have been having for the last 3 or 4 years that you've been in school. Those kind of deep conversations about your art and your work and your mission and what you were going to do with the rest of your life. And we had parties, like mystery train, what was it called? A mystery train dinner where you pretend somebody's been murdered and you all try to figure it out? Yeah, we did that. We had Christmas white elephants, and there was that one birthday party that I got so drunk with boxed wine and margaritas, I think I got them in the wrong order, and then I had to crawl to my room. That was my 27th year of life, and it stands out because it also went on to become the year that I was run out of town. Yes, that was the year I sat on my back porch and I chain smoked my way through my grief. But because the community at that time that I thought was nurturing me and holding me, and who I thought was my community on the sheer basis of our shared beliefs, I only found out that there was no flexibility and there was no room for interpretation. There was no room for my creativity. And I was constantly pushing against the rules. So that summer after I was asked to leave, I kept myself sane by running in the Walla Walla wheat fields. I did have a summer performance in New York City of this very same one-woman show that had gotten me kicked out of the university. I squashed into a very small Greenwich Village apartment with the entire production team, all students who had followed me from the sleepy college town in Walla Walla because we all believed in our creative right to ask hard questions, our creative agency, our creative voice. Then, after they all went back west and the show closed on the Lower East Side, I moved uptown to the Upper East Side to a sleeping, the one of those pre-war apartments. You can visualize it, right? It was where I used to nanny, and the family that I had nannied for had become very close to me, and while they were summering in Southampton, I lived in their guest room. I gathered my thoughts while working on a photo cataloging project, and I decided to move to Portland, Oregon. Finally, I thought, just 30 days shy of my 28th year, with my car and life in tow, I made my way down the Columbia River Gorge from Walla Walla to find myself here in the Portland metro area. I remember driving across the Morrison Bridge on the way to a G Love and Special Sauce concert. Now, I think some of the faculty may remember that. I don't know if all of you will. But there were fireworks, and the bridge lights were on. And if you've ever seen the Morrison Bridge, it lights up, right, on special occasions. I thought it was for me. It was welcoming me to my new home. It was just like a good end to the first act. Act 2. Writing is like a job or a marriage. Both must be tended in order to thrive. And the tending shouldn't be tedious, or it need not be tedious, in case you're thinking I'm saying marriage is a tedious enterprise, or writing is tedious for that matter. We all know that both are, of course. Sometimes the commitment to showing up is a decision to be disciplined, even if you, as most people do, enter the commitment with much passion. And it is this commitment to show up for the work, and also a dear friend reminding me of what my father had said with much admiration from his hospice bed 10 years ago this month, when he deemed it time to dictate his eulogy to me in preparation of his passing. You, he said, are the writer in this family. Write my story. So it was 10 years later, August 2019, or 7 years later, I should say, after he passed. But here comes Saturn again into the night sky in the exact same place it was when I was born, and I attended a writer's retreat at milepost 17. Again, it was 7 years after his passing, and 10 years after having given up being an actor to become an arts advocate and statewide arts funder, having given up what I thought was my right to call myself an artist. I'd given up. I didn't show up anymore. But at that day, on that weekend in August 2019, I found myself right in the center of Oregon, near a town called Post. Interesting fact, Post is named for the first postmaster of the Post Office, Walter H. Post. I just wanted to keep you posted. At that weekend, my newly christened fairy godmother said to me, "Honor it." It was as if she was channeling my father. Honor it. Don't diminish who you are by calling it something else or treating it like anything other than a job. Commit to it, and it will commit to you. So here's what happened. I committed to it. For 125 days, I committed to writing. Every other week, I posted something in service to, let's call it, the Uterus Project, a treatment of my memoir, which I guess I'll write someday. A memoir, as you all probably know, is a narrative composed from personal experience that reminds us of the far away and long ago, of loss and change, of persons and places beyond recall. That's Abigail McCarthy. One day I do hope to capture the recent memory of the personal experience of creation that was better than any creation that had come before. The intentional curation of my family. I decided on these 125 days of writing that I would use different forms and I would work through a series of memories, all in search of the idea that for me has been kind of elusive since the age of 9 when my family was torn apart by divorce. So I wanted to understand all the different ways we make family, how we form it, how we cultivate it, how it takes shape, even when it doesn't look like what we think it should. Concept. I would say, let's begin at the beginning, but that would be too linear, so I will begin instead with a haiku. Western-facing houses hold long goodbyes inside, stare off at oceans. Memory. At 42, the next time that old planet returned to my night sky, we all know now it's called Saturn. Do you see that there's a theme that I'm painting here in these words? So that particular trip around the sun started in a church, listening to the still, soft voice calling me back to a life of faith, a life of gratitude, a life of courageous acts of joy. And so between age 42 and this moment today that I'm speaking with you, I stepped fully into the most courageous, creative act that I could muster: motherhood. On my own, all by myself, on purpose. I crafted a village, I curated a tribe, I made family the only way that I knew how, by gathering all the love around me and by holding on to all the love I had been really fruitlessly giving away. I coalesced it all, manifesting motherhood on a solstice night, of all things, with a pomegranate, a room full of incredibly powerful women, and a prayer, a meditation. Completion. Act 3. 4 months ago, I woke up thinking about my Oregon Cultural Trust license plates. It says Power Lady, PWRLDY. I purchased those plates about 7 years ago, just a few months into working at Portland General Electric. I wanted to honor the time that I had spent as an arts advocate on behalf of arts, heritage, and humanities statewide, raising money and giving money away. I went round and round on what my license plate would say, but I knew it needed to support the Oregon Cultural Trust. And to be honest, I'm not sure how I even came up with the name. It just sort of came to me. And I was still in the trial period of my employment at Portland General Electric. So I thought, what if I choose Power Lady and then I don't stay here at this job? But like a lot of positions that I've held in the 20+ years since my graduate school graduation, I ended up at this investor-owned utility, your clean energy partner, because I am a creative with a business mind. And every single case of bringing my creativity and putting it together with business, I had the opportunity to center humanity, either in service or in impact. And so it was that on my last day at Portland General Electric and the PGE Foundation, after all the years of advocating and investing in science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM education, not STEAM, we can talk about that another time also. Sitting at tables of education leaders, raising awareness about how we keep students engaged through career technical education, telling people that yes, blowing glass, becoming a glassmaker is career technical education. It's hands-on learning. They were like, that's not a job. Nobody actually makes glass, except artists, and they don't make any money. And I fought against that. And I designed and developed and was able to launch a social impact initiative called PGE Project Zero. And then I hung up my hard hat and safety vest, and I looked at my license plate and I said, it has been an honor to serve the community in this way with a company that truly does live their purpose, powering the advancement of society. And I kept the Power Lady license plate. I mean, after all, it does honor the fact that for a season, I got to be a STEM professional and a creative person that Portland General Electric invested in when they hired me away from the arts, heritage, and humanities 7 years before. Epilogue. So, today, I stand before you, happily married. In 2019, 3 months shy of another Saturn return, my 49th birthday, I met my husband. My twin sons, our twin sons, were almost 4 at that time, and we didn't know it then, but 6 months later, the world would shut down. Love in the time of COVID, co-parenting in quarantine. I had found the love of my life, and it wasn't at all the way I had imagined it. The timing seemed backwards, right? I had the babies, and then the love, and then the marriage. But that's it. It is still family all the same. Today, I give this commencement speech in 3 acts as the executive director of an arts education nonprofit, whose organizational mission, as it is, mirrors my own personal mission: to inspire and support young people from underserved rural and urban communities by awakening the potential of their creative voice. The story of an artist is never a straight line. You know this. And that's why you're sitting here today, your graduation day. You have spent 2, 3, 4 years at the Pacific Northwest College of Art because you awakened your creative voice and you have a drive to put it to work. You instinctively understand that you have a creative right to ask hard questions. You have learned to believe, maybe because of a fairy godmother or because of a parent who you've recently lost whose voice is echoing in your head, that to create you need a discipline, and that creativity requires practice day in and day out, taking something from concept to completion over and over and over again. And it is a commitment of something to something that will commit to you. So now at the end of this time of your learning, the time you've had to spend in community with other creatives, artists, writers, illustrators, printmakers, object makers, and photographers, you commence on your journey of work. As the epilogue of this commencement speech in 3 acts draws to a close, as you think about what was your first Saturn return, and if you've had one, and where the next one may take you, I want to leave you with this. Any work you find yourself doing, from being a working artist to being a teaching artist, to parenting, to being a STEM professional or an arts funder, that work is work that needs you to live fully your creative right to ask hard questions, to commit to the work so it can commit to you, and then give it back to humanity. Your creativity, your art, your gift to the world. This is your commencement. This is your Saturn return. This is your next beginning. The story of an artist is never a straight line. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Will the candidates in the degree course please stand? That's you. President Thorset, these persons have been recommended by the Pacific Northwest College of Art as having met all the conditions for graduation. On behalf of the Pacific Northwest College of Art faculty, I recommend these candidates be awarded their degrees.
Thank you, Dean Cole. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Willamette University and by the State of Oregon, and upon recommendation of the faculty, I am delighted to confer upon you the degrees of Bachelor of Fine Arts, Master of Fine Arts, or Master of Arts, with all of the rights, duties, and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, graduates.
All right, are you ready? We will begin with those receiving the Master of Fine Arts in Applied Craft and Design. Holly Dugan. Elena Marnine Ferry. Robert Maciel. Julia Morgans. Alex Stone. And now those receiving the Master of Fine Arts in Collaborative Design. Madeline Silberger Franick. Next, those receiving the Master of Arts in Critical Studies. Erin Bodfish. Heaven Lee Carey. Justin Duyao. Teague Napier. Alexis Newman. Sarah Russell. Heidi Scheidel. Now those receiving the Master of Arts in Design Systems. Amina Carroll. Inbar Sharon. Now, those receiving the Master of Fine Arts in Print Media. Isabel Diana Campos Bedard. Cassandra Ferguson. Christina Martin. Teague Napier. Repeat customers. Congratulations. Heidi Scheidel. Rain Singri. Amelia Sutherland. And now those receiving the Master of Fine Arts in Visual Studies. Elizabeth Arzani. Erin Bodfish. Amira Chapman. Catherine Curry. Mackenzie Jarofsky. Rosalie Lingo. Alexis Newman. Ilsa Payne. Rob Summerlin. Now we'll be presenting the Bachelor of Fine Arts. Lisa Arroyo. Sage Askar. Mercury Baxley. Brianna Benjamin. Madison Brooke Wilbanks. Quandre Brown Roan. Ellie Ko. Riley Clark. Catherine Close. Ashley Conjugation. CJ Cox. Jacob Dawaher. Angelina Dokohina. Luna Enriquez. Taylor Evans. Rachel Gehring. Sarah Christine Graham. Bernadette Haley. Peter Hainig. Canon Herbold. Maisie Hoffman. Nico Hooper. James Houghton. William Inman. Cameron Kaufman. Mad Crudenaire. Kiara Lime. Yushin Lin. Reese McAndrews. Ada McCall. Griffin Wickstrom Morse. Marnie Pagter. Kaylee Pendleton. Charlie Puglisi. Jackson Parrott. Connor Ray. Tabitha Ricard. Eileen Ringgold. Dustin Rivera. Ella Shavgalidze. Ren Simmons. Rudolph Silvici. Close. Oh, sorry. Pictures. We'll chat for a bit over here. Does it feel better now to have that thing on the other side and all that? Tori, don't let me forget where I am. Very nice. All right, go. All right, we're off. Tori Taylor. Veronica Taylor. Marty Trammell. Alicia Isabella Vidal. Kayla Waddleton. Amelia Whiteside. Lizzie Whitney. Aspen Willows. Taylor Williams. Riker Charles Woodward. Eva Rosinski. Julia Usum. Jordan Zinn.
Friends and family, I present to you the Pacific Northwest College of Art class of 2022. Good afternoon, and congratulations again to our graduates. I'm delighted to share in this day of recognition of your achievements, and especially to be able to celebrate together here in the Tiffany Center for the first time in 3 years in person, in community with friends and family and faculty and staff. At PNCA, as at all of our other schools at Willamette, our mission is to prepare our graduates to turn knowledge into action. Today, we honor what you have learned and accomplished at PNCA, but what we are most excited about is what you will achieve next out in the world as alumni. Art is not only about creating visually or orally engaging work. It's about thinking through and communicating complex social issues and about making meaning in human lives. Our world is filled with so-called wicked problems: poverty, gender inequality, climate change, access to food and to clean water. We call something a wicked problem when even the shape of the problem itself and what would constitute a satisfactory solution to the problem is unclear or is contested. There is no firm disciplinary ground to stand on, no shared understanding of the path forward. In short, addressing these problems requires embracing a different approach, new ways of thinking and working together, constructive cross-cultural dialogue, collective engagement towards a common purpose. Science and social science are important, but so is the practice of politics. Historical and cultural understanding are crucial, but so is the creative reimagining of how the future can be different from the past. Data is invaluable, but stories and storytellers, not data science, is what changes people's minds and inspires them to action. As creators, as thinkers, as advocates, you will be called upon to witness and sometimes to incite important conversations. Artists have always played a key role in social change by challenging cultural narratives and norms and making visible the habits and assumptions that must be set aside to make progress possible. You have prepared for all kinds of work here at PNCA. But whether you find yourself working on your own or as part of a team in some enormous organization, you are taking from PNCA a refined skill in translation of the human experience. Use your art to shine a spotlight on truth, create moments of reflection, inspire us to action. In times like these, we need artists, writers, performers, and designers to be empowered to help us think, reflect, and to help us imagine a better and brighter future, one that promises inclusion, equity, social justice, and sustainability. Your future career will come with its share of challenges, but you leave us today prepared to succeed in a society defined by rapid and constant change, and are now empowered to make a difference in our politics, our culture, and our economy. You have chosen an exciting and inspiring and difficult path in life. Be bold. Know that you have the ability to inspire change with your work and with your ideas. In the words of Langston Hughes, an artist must be free to choose what he does, certainly, but he must also never be afraid to do what he might choose. Let Willamette's enduring motto, "Not unto ourselves alone are we born," serve to remind you of the essential humanity of our most noble aspirations and of your connection to something greater than yourselves. I look forward to hearing about the ways that you will carry on the proud legacy of PNCA in the years to come. And know that you will always be part of PNCA and of Willamette too. Please stay in touch with one another, reach out to alumni for support, and support future students when you can. Class of 2022, let me conclude by bestowing on you the traditional Willamette President's Blessing. When you depart from this commonwealth of learning, may your life bring you some work of noble note. May you find meaning in your commitment to others, and may your memories of PNCA be undying. Good luck and best wishes to all of you. Congratulations again, class of 2022.